Hey, what's up? I'm Esodan. I'm a member of a small group of friends known as Latte Night Raiders. Today I'd like to show you my method of choice for pushing the core during the invuln phases of Keep Construct, which involves a Longbow. This method is not intended for speed clear groups that use DPS druids, but it's a good overall setup for beginner and intermediate druids that are having trouble pushing the core without getting overtaken by retrievers. Before I discuss the build and traits, allow me to show my method in action real quick so you can see how effective and easy it is compared to staff. For this method I used the typical Magi Druid build with a few adjustments. First, instead of equipping staff and sword axe like I typically would, I dropped the sword axe set for a Longbow, as it has faster auto attacks than the staff and it possesses a powerful knockback that can be used fairly often. Additionally, I dropped what is typically nature magic for another specialization, marksmanship, which synergizes well with my method. Utilities are up to you. I usually run something like what you saw in the recording I showed. The two specializations you typically see on a Magi Druid, Skirmishing and Druid, remain the same. Therefore, I'll skip discussion of those for the sake of time and talk about marksmanship instead. While I would normally take nature magic, I will switch this spec to marksmanship and take the following traits. Clarion Bond for some free Call of the Wild procs when swapping pets, which may help with Fury and Might. Steady Focus is the only trait that makes sense here, and it gives a slight DPS increase when endurance is full. And finally, the reason I chose this trait line, Lead the Wind. It increases attack speed, which seems negligible, but its biggest benefit is that it makes longbow attacks pierce. You'll notice that with staff, you can very easily cast your solar beams at the core and not be hindered by retrievers, but this becomes near impossible on longbow without the trait. I think this is a worthy trade-off, since without nature magic you'll only lose some pet damage, and you're not speccing for regen, neither of which should have a huge effect on KC in my opinion. I'd like to show you step by step what I do, and then I'll play the sequence in its entirety again. My preference is to push the core to the North Rift first, but this really depends on the druid's preference for positioning. If I have to stand in one of the green circles, I can easily reposition myself with staff 3. For this rift it should take no more than 3 ticks from the solar beam to reach the North Rift. At this point I swap to Longbow and immediately knock the core back towards the next rift with Longbow 4. Since I used point blank shot immediately after weapon swapping, Quick Draw is procced for a significant cooldown reduction. This allows you to knock back once more toward the third rift after only 1 or 2 auto attacks. Make sure you plan ahead and call out precasts early if you intend to knock the core back a third time. This method works well without Chrono pulls, but a Chrono could easily pull to the 4th or 5th rift without changing your sequence. Make sure auto targeting is off and that you disable auto attack on your Longbow, as both of these can cause issues. Also, keep in mind that you absolutely need the staff to push from the center to the first rift, as projectiles are blocked in the center of the room. Let's see the whole sequence again in its entirety from start to finish. I hope this guide was useful. This should be an effective way to push the core without stressing too much over retrievers. I intend to record and discuss a few other raid strategies I've come up with for my groups, but I don't have a good estimate for when those will be released. If you like this strategy, please share it with your druid friends, as I think this method greatly simplifies your experience with the retrievers. Leave a comment and tell me what you think, and feel free to offer constructive criticism. I'll see you guys next time.